Hey folks, welcome back. In this video, we're going to understand and harness the power of the box. And we're going to use this box to create buildings, and we're going to also extrude from the box so we can add to our shape. So let's go ahead and get started. So I'll begin this conversation by saying that when we draw our box, we always want to think about perspective. And the box that we create is going to have, if we're doing a 2-point perspective box, we're going to have the top and bottom edges that are angled as such. They are going to move towards their own, they're going to eventually converge towards their own vanishing point. Similarly, the top and bottom edge for the other face of this box will, if we give it enough time, will extend and it will connect to another vanishing point. So this is VP1, VP2. This is the heart of what we're going to be focusing on. You don't have to draw all of your perspective lines from the vanishing point unless you're doing a really precise drawing. What we're going to do is we're going to keep this concept in mind, and we're going to apply it with some intuition here. So I'm going to draw a box like so. And what I want to do now, I'll just finish this part of the box out. I want to extend this box. I want to go ahead and maybe make it like like an old-timey piano where the piano keys are being covered, right? So I've got this curved shape. Now, if I draw that curved shape, when I draw the corresponding curved shape for the edge that's furthest away from me, that curved shape is going to be half the distance. It's going to be roughly half the distance. And that's important because remember that vanishing point that we're implying here? Let's just go ahead and make that connection. So we're trying to create believable perspective. We're not trying to create hyper-realistic, accurate perspective. This is just for quick sketching, for being able to visualize your concepts and to have something that you can work with. All right, so I've drawn that part. Now let's draw a vertical line, because this is going to be where the mechanism of the piano actually lives. And we'll say, okay, that line also is extended up here, and the vanishing point will be somewhere over here. So all of these top and bottom lines that I'm drawing here will converge to the same vanishing point, roughly. And I'll do the same thing on this side too. And now I've got this base. So I've got this box, this piano, drawn with believable perspective. Now, did I add all the details? No, but I can add some of the details. I can find the midpoint on the edge that's closest to the viewer and use this as a way of subdividing these segments through midpoints. So I'm finding the midpoint between the middle and the top, and I'll just draw a line that connects the two. And then from there, the opening where people will actually scoot in and sit, I can just extend those as vertical lines and draw another line here that will also converge to that same vanishing point that's on the opposite side. So I can fill this in with a darker colored value. So let's see how we can take this concept, now that we've done this piano, let's see how we can extend that to something a little bit more complex. Let's say that I wanted to create some kind of a, Fantastic Four type of control panel. So I'll draw one side of my box. This time I'll use 2 straight lines. This straight line is going to be longer than this straight line, and I will draw a ray that connects those two. And let's now have like another console here where we are going to have like maybe a monitor, something like that, old school 60s stuff, right? So I've basically projected or extruded from this base box. I haven't even drawn the other side of it yet, but I'll go ahead and do that now. So I'll suggest a second vanishing point by this top and bottom edge, and then I can make another line that comes down here. And if I wanted to have, say, some computer stuff in the back, I can do that too. I can just go ahead and say, all right, here is that base panel. Now from here, what I can do is I can say, all right, well, I can draw controls. I'll first of all divide my plane into a grid. I'll find the midpoint. So that's a vertical midpoint. I'll find the horizontal midpoint. And I'm going to use as many of these grid lines that I need. These are eventually going to not be visible when I draw on a new layer, when I finish this one out. But this helps me in terms of positioning things like buttons, and it also makes sure that whatever I draw is going to be maintained in proper perspective. So I'm just adding as many of these grid lines as I think I will need to properly execute this. So let me just zoom in a little bit. Let's say that we have, I don't know, some buttons. So I'll find the midpoint here, find the midpoint here, and let's say that these buttons are going to be kind of big chunky buttons. So I'll just have some horizontal lines. These will all converge back to the same vanishing point. And I'll add some thickness to make these buttons look like they're, you know, a little bit raised from the surface that they're on. And then from this point I can say, all right, well, let me add some other doodads. Maybe there's some kind of a monitoring system. You could have levers. Maybe this is a big control mechanism here. So I'll use a cylinder for that. So this lever can go up or down. And what I'm doing is I'm being very aware of the planes that I'm creating, and I'm drawing in such a way to not contradict the plane. I'm not drawing an object that's just kind of sticking up like this. I want to make sure that I first draw from the surface and I can project that up however I need to. So if I'm drawing other displays and whatnot, as long as they follow the proper perspective and, you know, look like they're going to converge to the same vanishing point, then I'm in good shape. So let's make this one kind of one of those curved, you know, CRT type of screens like they would have in a Fantastic Four comic book, right? So we've got this curved screen here. And just to go ahead and make things more interesting, let's add some pipes and other elements. So I'll go ahead and subdivide this, find the midpoint over here, and I'll project and draw a hole. And this is going to be where this pipe will come into. So I can go ahead and extend that. I'll draw another bigger hole and a smaller hole. And I'll just use this to create this pipe as if it's actually coming out towards the viewer. Again, this is a tapered cylinder that is going towards this particular location. And this is just what I would consider to be an underdrawing. And I'm just going to fix this part right here. Just, there we go. That was bothering me a little bit. So we've got the heart and soul of this the setup. Well, what if we wanted to add some chairs and other elements? Well, we can always extend these lines. Now keep in mind that all of these lines are going to go back towards the right vanishing point. So similarly, this edge here will also go to the same vanishing point. So I have to draw from this point out. And now I have to consider, okay, what about the left vanishing point if I wanted to go ahead and establish where the chairs are going to be. If I pick a point here, I'll have to pick a point that is roughly, let's see, this vanishing point, all of these rays are going like this. So that means this would be something like this. This is just me eyeballing it. And from here, I can make a grid, find the midpoint, and I'm using the grid as a way of, you know, first of all, placing objects on the grid. And now I can say, all right, I'll put this on a separate layer and maybe change the color so it'll be easier for you to see. But let's just say that the base is going to be like a, I don't know, barber style chair. We can draw that circular base. We can extend that up, have a cylinder. We can have the chair. That chair is going to follow the same vanishing points that I've already previously established. And there we go. We've got this super duper cool chair that we can draw, and then we can use the same concept here. We can say, all right, let's make this one smaller since it's further away. Let's project up from that. And now we've got these two chairs, and we can obviously clean this up, color this in, and do whatever we need to do. But very, very powerful way to work, and you could use this for drawing even simple, like buildings, barns and such. Let's say that we have a barn. We're drawing one side of our barn. We'll draw a nice curved surface. We'll draw another one that's half the height. We'll extend the line, and then we'll think about our 2-point perspective. And we'll draw our verticals. And you can always come back in and you can color one side. You can find the midpoint and draw a barn door and draw vegetation, stuff that's just going to anchor it into that space. So this is a really, I think, a great technique, something that you should definitely practice. Drawing that box correctly is really, really important. If you find some value in this video, why not give it a thumbs up and let me know what you think. If you have any specific questions that you want me to address in an upcoming video, please drop me a comment and let me know. I want to thank you all again for the support that you've given the channel. And it's clear to me that people are finding value in these videos, and I hope that you will stick around for the future content that's going to be coming up. As always, thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one.